Hi guys, welcome back to Running a Freelance Design Business. This is lesson 11, creating a portfolio. Now in this lesson we are going to look at what should be included in a good portfolio. So your portfolio is going to be one of your main selling points, particularly on the web. It might be your only selling point, and it needs to be good. In fact, it needs to be very near to being spot on, but that's difficult to do because there's so many elements to pull together, and also because it's a self-directed project, it's very easy to get lost and to get into the point where you're adding too many features and getting a bit confused. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how you can spend your time effectively and what you should include in a portfolio to be able to make it as good as possible. Now, something you want to do for this project, as with any other design project, write up a design brief. Focus on what you want your portfolio to do, but also focus on the design brief once you've written it out, because it's going to help you keep focused and concentrated and not get a little bit sidetracked when you're designing. So, what should your portfolio do? 4 things. It should clearly demonstrate your unique selling point. It should show examples of your work. It should answer clients' questions about the job. So people subconsciously are asking, well, why do I want to hire this person? Why you? Why not anyone else? What is your unique selling point? And show it. And then you need to provide a way to contact you. So that's the 4 key necessary requirements for a portfolio. It's very simple. There's nothing more to it. That's it. Everything else is technically superfluous. However, if you have or spend any time looking around portfolios, you'll see that there are conventions developing nowadays. A company blog or a portfolio blog is very important and very popular. It's essential both for SEO because it's a frequently updated thing for the search engines. It pulls in links, it pulls in potential leads and contacts, and it just generally shows your expertise, your demeanour and your skills. The one thing that I want you to think about when you're creating your portfolio is simplicity. Don't make people think about how to do something, such as getting in touch. If it's too hard, people won't do it. So don't make it hard. Don't make it complicated. Just include clear links and an easy to contact you method, whether that be a contact form as well as a phone number. Be a little bit flexible. Once someone is interested, you need them to act on that interest. You don't want to make it too hard to get in touch. Be concise and clear in the language you use on the website. Don't use any poetic rubbish about how much you like cats and Ferraris. Very often you see that on portfolios where people write about completely non-related things to their design work. People aren't bothered. This is a professional portfolio, so make it so. On the other hand, it doesn't have to be boring and fuddy-duddy and dull. And as you're a designer, you want to make sure your site is a good pinnacle piece and a good demonstration of your work, that it showcases your skills and your talents and your style, unique style. So have fun, make your site really stand out. Those are the 2 words that you want in your design brief, really. Simple and unique. If you don't write anything else in it, that would work quite well. That's it, work off that and you really can't go wrong. But in terms of actual features then, what do you really want to have? Well, you want to have an about page or an about section, just giving a little bit of information about you as a person, what your kind of design experience is, what skills you've got. You want to have things like a contact page or a contact section if you've got a 1-page portfolio. Make sure that is clear and obvious. And then obviously a portfolio page, that's kind of goes without saying, having things like case studies if you want to go into more detail, showing your work. A lot of people now integrate Twitter and Facebook in, which is great if you use those services, because again that shows your expertise and interest in design and shows that you are frequently updating your site. Those methods also pull in traffic. There might be leads, there might be potential contacts. So if you've been able to get more quality traffic into your portfolio, that's obviously great, especially if you have things like a blog. If you do decide to have a blog, what could you write about on a freelance portfolio? Well, there's a number of things that you could consider covering that will add value to your site, as well as bringing in new and fresh traffic. You might share your knowledge with other freelancers. You don't know how that might work. It might open yourself to getting referrals from other designers. You might mentor wannabe designers. That might be a great way of demoing your expertise. You might showcase your own work or work that you like, talk about why it's good, again demonstrating your skills. You could create useful tools and services such as a rates calculator for other freelancers, or something that help a client understand about design, about typography, anything like that would be of use. Again, you might share personal stories that you've experienced from clients, or if you notice a famous site's been redesigned, then you might go ahead and talk about what you think about it, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Perhaps if a well-known company rebrands, you might talk about what you think to their rebranding, whether it's good or not. Whatever your design sort of particular expertise, cover that. Have a little think about it. You can cover a lot of useful stuff on a blog, and it would help very much showing clients what you think about, how good you are at design, and whether you know what you're talking about. We're going to have a look now at a few portfolio examples that work well, and we'll talk about why they are great examples of good portfolios. Okay, so the first example is 45 Royale Incorporated. Now, this is a small web design studio located in Georgia, and I always come back to this site design because I like the way the portfolio works. I think it's a very effective portfolio. It's very simple, it's very lightweight, and it just works. So let's have a look at some of the features of this portfolio. First off, you've got the 45 Royale logo here. Very clean, very simple, very prominent, so you can see it. It's on every page. So if we go to the About page, we go to the Work page, blog, even the shop, it's always in the top left, and that's following a nice convention so people can see the logo at all times. And that also links back to the home page, so that's very important, purely because that's just an ease of use or a good thing for usability. They've got a small, brief introduction regarding who they are, what they do, and perhaps why they are unique. So let's have a look. They are enthusiastic. That's quite a good selling point. Dedicated. They are located in Georgia, and that they love building clean, unique, and usable websites, which you can see from their portfolio they do. Now, the portfolio has got an About page, which is very important, whether you're a one-person design or several people working together as a freelance agency. These About pages are very important. Clients will often want to know a little bit more about the company, about who you are and what's occurring. So have a look at the About page on here. It's got lots of information, but it's all nicely laid out. They've got a video there. They have some information about how they work, and it's just a generally good page to increase trust in them because people want to know what you do, who you are, if you're a real person, that sort of thing. Next, you've got their Work page, which is over here. You'll see the navigation is very clean and simple, very easy to use. So here they have their About page, lots of great examples of work. Let's just have a look at this one here. You can see it's easy to use the kind of case studies. You can find out more information about the project. You can read even more about the project, but you can also skip through, look at screenshots, or you can look at the website. And you'll notice the UI for all this is deadly simple. It works really well. It looks good. It's got all the information you want. It's got more information if you want to go into greater detail, and it just generally looks and works good. They've got a blog, as we've talked about. Blogs, great idea for increasing traffic to your site, keeping clients and potential leads and customers coming back to your site. So again, they've got a custom design blog. It looks really, really suave, very professional. They've got Twitter, they've got Facebook, they have all kinds of information, all the sort of proper blogging facilities, and they have categories and everything. So that's just a blog, basic standard blog, but it looks good. It fits in with the design of the site. It doesn't look like the website has been made around the blog. They've also got a shop, which is obviously probably not something you'll do, but then they have a contact page. So on the contact page, you've got forms. Forms are brilliant because they just reduce the sort of effort required for people to get in touch. They've got a little drop down here regarding what they're interested in, and forms also help you process data just because you're not getting random queries, you're having a bit of a more formatting to them. You've got V-cards, you've got contact numbers, and also a map here, which is useful if you want people to know where you work, especially if you work from an external office. And then you've got some project planners and request for proposal forms, which are optional but very useful because people can send off a quote very easily. Just fill in all this information. You get all the information you need, and you then get to fill out that quote. So maybe think about having some sort of quoting or lead generation thing, and that's maybe a little bit buried, a little bit hidden away. But in general, it's a fantastic blog portfolio site. And we've also got one other example, Matt Dempsey. This is a good little site for just showing a real simple portfolio. This is a one-page portfolio. So again, you've got the slogan up top about what they do, what Matt Dempsey will offer to your company. Then you've got some good examples. You can see he's worked with Facebook, he's worked with some pretty big companies, and that's interesting. He's got really good examples of design here, typography. He's worked with a large UK association, and he's got some excellent designs in his portfolio. The only thing with this portfolio is, because it's a one-page thing, as you're scrolling down, if a client gets to this point here and decides they want to contact you, there's no way of doing that. So perhaps having a little floating contact button here would be good, and that's quite an often seen convention. But if you click to the about and contact thing, you've got some more information. You've got Twitter, you've got LinkedIn, Dribble. You can email him and find out a little bit more information about him. Now, one final kind of warning is to really spend time on your design brief. As with any other project, you want to have a design brief, but don't get too hung up on the actual site, because you don't want to start having to redesign the website every week. It's very tempting to do so. If you spend time now, it's going to be a real investment, and your portfolio will be good from the start. So make sure you do it right, do it once. Don't be tempted to redesign it every 3 months. Set yourself maybe a limit on the time you want it to last. So say you want your portfolio to last at least a year. Do it well. Make sure that in the meantime, if you do need to make any revisions to the structure, the content, you want to add more features, you can do so. But don't be tweaking the design all the time, because it takes forever. And also it will be taking away from your time that you can actually spend on paying jobs. So that's just a bit of a word of advice there. So what have we learned in this lesson? Well, we have considered your portfolio, what you need to include in it, how you can help yourself keep focused when you are designing and planning your portfolio. Your task for the lesson is to start planning your portfolio. Write out a design brief of all the goals you want the portfolio to achieve, what features it'll have, maybe start wireframing it once you've got past that point, and then start designing your portfolio. Next time on Running a Freelance Design Business, we'll be looking at banking and money. Thanks for watching.